I'm Hava Schultz, and today I'm going to tell you about my Disney College Program review and reflection. This video is about work because the biggest part of the Disney College Program is the job itself. I was positioned in merchandise, which means I was at the All-Star Music Resort working in the gift shop, making sales and interacting with guests. To name a few pros of my job in no particular order, 1, Disney is great at casting. I had a lot of really fun and kind coworkers. When we were kind of slow, not a lot of guests in the shop, I had someone to get to know a little bit better, and when we were busy, we could work together to make operations more efficient. I went through a particularly rough time this semester, and I had a support group at work I could count on. These people are more than just my coworkers, they're my friends. Another pro of my personal Disney College Program experience was that I had a lot of night shifts, so I felt like I had a lot more time because I could be more productive with my time. During the day, when I was naturally energized, I could do whatever it was that I wanted to accomplish, and then when I started to get tired, like I usually would after work or school, I fed off the energy of those positive fellow cast members I told you about and guests who were really happy, and that way I could keep that Disney magic flowing through my veins. A third huge pro I'm going to mention in this video is meeting people with various backgrounds. I met people from the UK, Switzerland, Japan, China, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, Brazil, Puerto Rico, Panama, Mexico, and probably across all 50 states. I met people of all ages with various walks of life, races, anything you can think. Disney is such a diverse place to work. And it's really cool because I love traveling because I love to experience different cultures. And that's also why I love Epcot. And so I came up with a few stories that I'm just going to go ahead and summarize for you, just to show the example of how cool it is to meet people from all over and to witness generosity among people from all backgrounds. A man came in with his wife and son for a visit, and I saw him being very generous with another little girl as they were pin trading, which is a very popular activity here at Disney World. So I got to know him a little bit and found out his field of study is numerology, something I didn't know anything about. It was very interesting, so he taught me a little bit about it, and then we also talked about symbolism. And so the next day he came in and he brought me this pin. It's from one of my favorite Disney movies, which is Aladdin, and it flips up. It's just a neat pin from Halloween this year. So that was really cool. And he told me later, the next day, that he bought me this pin because he had such a kind heart that he had traded away this pin with somebody else who really wanted to trade it. This pin is the one he originally intended to get me to follow up with the symbolism by saying, "Beauty is found within." Because he was really grateful for the time that I spent getting to know him while he was here. Learning within, not just on the surface. At another point, I met a couple of guests, a mother and daughter, who noticed my name on my name tag, and they were curious about it because Hava's not exactly your everyday name. Because the daughter's name was Willow, and it also had a significance. So we got talking about the significance of our names, and we had some nice conversations throughout their visit. And on the last day that they were there, they came up and they gave me a present. And I was so touched when I pulled out a hand-woven rose. I found out that Regina had woven this rose for Moana because they were hoping to meet her on their stay here. But Moana no longer meets at Disney World, so they gave me the rose and note instead to show their appreciation. And to boot, the little index card that they had written for Moana said that green represents the renewal of life and spirit, and my name is the lesser known word for life in Hebrew. So they loved that life really fit the conversations that we had had. So I really enjoyed getting to know Willow and Regina. If you're watching, hey guys! And just another really unique interaction. The third story I want to share with you is very difficult to consolidate to just a few sentences, so I want to go ahead and read you the story that I wrote for a caption on Instagram about this moment. A few nights ago, a cancer patient and her family came to my resort's gift shop. We had lots of fun pin trading, and it was neat to engage with every member of the family. For example, the father exchanged one of his ordinary pins for the quirkiest pin on my lanyard, a cabbage shaped like Mickey Mouse's head. As I handed him my pin, he gave me one of his business cards. He has a vegetable farm in Florida's Panhandle. How cool is that? I also got to know the daughter and the younger of the two sons, discussing new pins released exclusively to cast members, and finding some among the lanyards of my fellow cast members to help her start her collection. After looking around my store, I escorted the family to the front desk to trade with the pin board there. I loved sharing the excitement with them and seeing all the smiles. I didn't know if they would return the next night, but I really hoped they would. So I worked hard to find the remaining pins in the set she was searching for, just in case she didn't see them at the park since it was their last day at Disney. The next night, the father and daughter came back to my store, just to see me. I was truly touched and so excited to surprise her with the remaining pins in her set. When I showed them to her, her face lit up, and I could tell she was as touched to receive them as I was for her to come see me. This was a very special moment. Not long after, her little brother showed up. I wanted him to feel special too, so I offered him a choice of any pin on my lanyard or the pin board. Nothing struck his fancy, so I found out which characters he likes most and went to find a cast member with something he might like. When I brought back a couple of ice cream cone themed pins, say that 5 times fast, as Mickey and Donald, also newly released pins, just as his sisters are, his eyes opened wide, his lips curved up, and he nodded his head. Another special moment. I am grateful for the opportunity to have met such a wonderful family and to have been able to make a difference in their trip to Disney World. Making magic for other people makes magic for me too. Of course, I got to know so many more amazing people here too, and I experienced their generosity both tangibly, through recognition, and just through their words and time to get to know each other. I also got to see the generosity and kindness between guests, and that was really cool too. Lesson: kindness is contagious. All that said, people think that working for Disney would be perfect, and although there is magic in the air here, it is still real life, and so if I'm going to give you an honest review and reflection, there are a few cons that I need to mention. 1. Inconsistent shifts. Having different days off from week to week and different shift lengths and times from day to day first of all, made me paranoid about, am I going to work at the right time today? So I was always checking my schedule, but also it made it really difficult to achieve a routine. And eventually, I just had to accept that a routine was not in the books for me this semester. And once I came to accept it, it turned out to be okay. The second con on my list is night shifts. Yes, this is a pro, but it's also a con. Because here at Disney, there are spectacular night shows, but I was pretty much always working during them unless I had the day off. So it really abbreviated my opportunities to see the night shows. So it's not the biggest con in the world because I could still see them, but hey, it made my list. The third major con about the job is that it's temporary. And although there are several reasons I'm very excited to go home, I also mentioned in the pros section that I made some really great friends here, and we're from across the United States and even the globe. So although I'm going to work hard to stay in touch with them, I'm still going to miss them. So after reflecting on the pros and cons of my job here at Walt Disney World, I would say it was fun, rewarding, totally worth 4 months of my life, and postponing my graduation date. If you have any questions about my experience, comment below or reach out to me on Instagram, and be sure to watch my experience about my time here outside of work in the video here. Click here to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!